Hi everyone, my name is ILA MONICAL. I'm currently Miss Randolph County's Teen 2024. I'm the founder and creator of You Know Me, Not My Story, and the series You Know Them, Not Their Story. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of You Know Them, Not Their Story, featuring Kamryn Hollowell, Miss North Carolina's Teen 2024. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy that you're on. I was talking with Kayla and I was like, "Hey, I'd like to have Kayla on the podcast." And she was like, "Yeah, okay." And I was like, "Yes."
Yes. Yes,
I
I'm
was
open.
so happy.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's still not real. Like
Mhm.
I just know it doesn't feel real, but it is. And I'm given I have so many things lined up and I'm just so excited. Like I don't even know what to say.
I know. I feel like if I were you, I would literally just be like, "All right,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
What's
That's
happening?"
that's been me a lot of the time, and every time I pick up my sash, I'm like, that's weird because it looks so different from the local sashes, and I'm just like, this is weird. This is weird, but
How do the rhinestones feel?
it's actually a little heavy, or
Okay.
it's not heavy. Let me say that, but it's a lot heavier compared to what we're used to.
Hmm.
One of my stones actually popped off. I have to find that and replace it, but it's also very stiff, like more stiff than the other ones, but they're it's heavy duty, dirty.
Hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's jump right into this. Tell me a little bit about your CSI.
So my community service initiative is called Project Purple, which advocates for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis across North Carolina. I actually started it when I was 9 because my mother was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis over 12 years ago now. And so this has always been an important cause to me because it deals with me in my everyday life. It's something that I'm going to continue to advocate for far beyond my time in the Miss America organization. And so I'm very excited to be able to talk about it on a state level and spread my platform across the state. And I've actually partnered with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Carolinas chapter. And so I'm just super excited to get to work and continue all the work I've been doing as a local title holder.
Hmm. So, since this series is called You Know Them, Not Their Story, what is your story?
Absolutely. So I feel like a lot of people don't know my story. A lot of people see my successes, but don't see all of the hard work that went behind them. So I actually started as a Carolina Star in this organization when I was 7, almost 8. And my best friend at the time actually pulled me into the organization and really, really helped me navigate the organization, find my mentor, have that mentor mentee relationship and bond. And so I loved it immediately. I loved everything about it. I loved being on stage. I loved being with the girls. And so I spent 5 years in the Carolina Star organization and then decided to compete as a teen. From the relationships that I had seen with my mentors and the things that I saw them doing in their community, I wanted to be that change maker for my generation. And so I competed my first year. I was 13, freshly 14 when I was competing. And I actually had to compete at 5 different locals to win my first local title of Miss Metrolina's Outstanding Teen at the time. And I cannot believe the growth that I've seen in myself from that time. But that year was really a lot of hard work and trial and error. I really put my blood, sweat, and tears into every title that I've had. And that one, there was a lot of growth. And I went to state. I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about this organization and the girls in it. And I actually walked away with a non-finalist talent award, which I was super, super excited about. And then I decided I wanted to go back. And so I competed at Miss Zebulon's teen, and I thankfully was able to win my first local, and I was very appreciative of that. But my year was kind of overshadowed. My grandfather was in a car accident 4 days after I won. And really, that was really difficult for me and my family to go through and face. And yes, on social media, I was happy and, everything was going great. But behind the scenes, that year was really tough for me. I have to be honest. One thing about me is I love being transparent and sharing the good sides and the bad sides because we're all human and not everything is going to go perfectly according to plan. And he ended up passing away about a month before state, my second year. And so I, totally honest, did not want to compete. I had a lot of grief and a lot of sadness that I was holding on to. And I felt like my whole year was just me being on a hamster wheel going through the motions. And after state, I actually didn't know if I wanted to compete again. This organization has been something that I've loved and I've grown up in it and I've changed in it. And I'm so appreciative for it. But after all I had as Miss Zebulon's teen, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And it's something that I had to pray a lot about and question a lot of things and ask myself, did I want to go back? And it actually took me months to do that. And so eventually I came to the realization that I'm in this organization because I love it. And I want to be that role model that I wanted to see when I was 7. That for me is the reason that I came back. I really want to make change and be that role model for the next generation, whether they are a Carolina Star or whether they're just from North Carolina or if they're from anywhere in this nation. Being able to inspire them to follow their passions and dreams was something that I felt really important. And so I picked up the pieces. I focused on myself. I found happiness again in this organization and I found my friends that were going to help me. And so I decided to compete again and I competed at Miss Garner and I actually got first runner up. And that was really hard for me just because I wanted to prove myself. I felt like the year before I had such a terrible year and I didn't get out of it what I wanted to. And so this year I really wanted to prove myself. And so I was really frustrated with myself after getting first runner up, but I decided I wanted to keep competing. And so the next weekend I actually competed at Miss Statesville and I was crowned Miss Statesville's teen. And so I promised to myself and my family and my community that from the moment that crown was placed on my head, I was going to work the hardest I've ever worked for 7 months leading up to state. And so state rolls around and it was an amazing journey. The journey to state was probably the most growth that I've seen in myself out of all 3 years competing. I really found dedication and what I wanted to achieve out of my goals, and I had a set plan and I was laser focused the entire time. And so really once I got to state, I was very calm. It was very strange, but the entire week I was just so happy to be there and so happy for the experience. And I was so prepared that I was able to have fun. And so that week was just the best week of my life. And of course, I was going to be happy no matter the outcome, but walking away as Miss North Carolina's teen was something that I never thought I'd be able to say and something that I can't wait to continue to inspire other teens or other Carolina stars through my year.
Mm-hmm. And going back to your first year as teen, um, your Miss, Carolyn Martin, actually won the title of Miss North Carolina in 2022.
Yes.
And how has that influenced you through your years as, Miss Zebulon's teen, Miss Statesville's teen, and now Miss North Carolina's teen?
Absolutely. I absolutely adore Carolyn. I tell people that when I was crowned Miss Metrolina's teen, there really could have been no better pairing for me to have a miss. And that state experience was absolutely incredible. Seeing her win, I can't even put it into words. And I was just so happy for her. And if this tells you anything, my dad at the time, he's become more of a pageant dad, but
Mm.
at the time, he was not a pageant dad. He was just there to support me. And Carolyn made enough of an influence on me that he actually agreed and told me, he said, yeah, we can go to Miss America. And so I actually was able to watch her compete at Miss America for her dream, which was absolutely incredible. But Carolyn is one of those people that is going to support you. She's going to let you do your own thing, but she's going to support you no matter what. And that has been something that she has continued to do even after her year as Miss North Carolina. She's supported me through the thick, through the thin, through the good, the bad, the ugly. She's been there with me through every phase of my life. And actually seeing her crying coming up to me after my crowning, it was a really big full circle moment because her achieving her dream of becoming Miss North Carolina really influenced me and, ingrained in my brain that it's going to take hard work. It's going to take determination. I was able to see her hard work, her determination, her blood, sweat, and tears that she poured into that title before she won because I was her team. And so I knew what it was going to take to be able to go to the state level. And she always supported me. And I think that that's something that I can't wait to do for everyone else is, be transparent, show them that it was a hard road, but it paid off. And I am so much better now because of it.
Mhm. So during your time at Miss America, I think I saw on social media you were able to do the Empowerment Academy.
Yes, I was able to do it.
Yeah, what was that like?
That was incredible. You were able to meet and connect with girls from across the country and something that, again, a full circle moment. I've called this my full circle year from the beginning of my title, but this really comes full circle. Miss Indiana's teen, her name is Bella. She was actually in my Empower Academy class. And so we actually are so excited to get to talk to each other again, kind of catch up since the last time we were together. And so really building those connections across the nation is something that is indescribable. And I
Mhm.
learned so many lessons. They had so many clinics and workshops from former teens, state teens, national teens, misses, who were all able to come in and kind of share their story and how the things they learned influenced their year and how they gave us pieces of advice to advance our own years. And so that was something that I would not change my experience for the world. It was absolutely incredible. And I really was a sponge. That's kind of one piece of advice I give to other girls is be a sponge. Take everything with an open mind, listen to everyone, and kind of make it your own. Listen to all the pieces of advice you're given, but in the end, make the year what you want to make it. And so that's one of the biggest things that I learned from that Empowerment Academy.
Mhm. So how can your partnership with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America help educate others on IBD?
Absolutely. So many people don't know what IBD is, and the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America really helps destigmatize the myths and really share the facts of IBD and what it is and how it affects people in their day-to-day lives. And it actually gives many research clinics and opportunities for patients to really discover more about their disease. And they are actually the only foundation in the United States that deals with Crohn's and colitis. So a lot of other causes have multiple corporations, nonprofits that help with research and funding for that specific cause. The CCFA is the only nonprofit in the country that deals with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. And so it's really important for me to be able to partner with them and share the facts because as a daughter of a patient, I've seen the myths come up firsthand. People say, oh, you don't look sick. Well, there were a lot of times that my mother didn't look sick, but she was actually very, very sick. And so being able to have this state platform now to share my story, my mother's story, and the things that I've experienced and gone through is something that I'm forever grateful for. And I just cannot wait to continue that partnership and expand it not only across the state of North Carolina, but hopefully to other states as well.
Mhm. So how have you made a difference with your CSI?
Absolutely. So, kind of going back to what I was saying, a lot of people don't know what it is. And I started my CSI when I was in elementary school, and I have always been a very loud advocate. I told people in my elementary school about it, told them my experience. And I really wondered for a little while, am I making a difference? Do people care? And one day, one of my friends in elementary school actually came up to me at recess and she said, hey, Kamryn, I know you said that your mom has ulcerative colitis. She said, recently my sister was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. She said, I have no idea what it is. I don't even know the basics of it, but I knew that you knew more about it than I did. So can you educate me a little bit on that? And that was when I really realized that what I was doing was making a difference. And that's why I continue to have that as my community service initiative as a teen. A lot of times I've been asked, it's so specific. And yes, it is so specific, but I'm able to connect it with other things like mental health, cardiovascular health, and really being able to encompass the whole body through my CSI is something that I've been able to do, thankfully. And yes, it may seem specific on the surface, but it's making a change in people's lives. And I was even at the Statesville town council meeting a few months ago when I was Miss Statesville's teen. And after I got up and spoke about my CSI and what I had been doing with it, an older gentleman came up to me and he said, "I'm really proud of you." And I said, "Well, thank you, but what for, may I ask?" And he said, "I have Crohn's disease, and my son was recently diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And so you sharing our stories is so important. And that's why I continue to fight for them every single day, not only sharing my story, but sharing the stories of other people, because it really does change people's lives in an instant."
Absolutely. And I completely understand what you're saying about, specific platforms and everything, but I think when you have a specific platform, it makes it unique, especially unique to you, and it makes it so much easier to talk about and really spread awareness about the platform because, I don't know anybody else who's had a platform that's about ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. So it's very nice to see you advocating for that because I've never heard of that. So
Yeah.
it's very, um, I don't know. I think it's very empowering that we have someone who has um, a diverse CSI because it's something that you really don't see a lot in Miss America or really in the media at all.
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the parts that I love about the Miss America opportunity the most.
Mhm.
That's really why I started competing, was because I wanted to have a platform to share my voice and share the voice of others who couldn't voice their own opinions. And so being a state title holder with such a specific CSI, it's really been so important to me to share it even more because people don't understand it, and that's totally fine. That's why I'm here, right? I'm here to educate you. I'm here to share with you how it affects me. I'm not a patient myself, but it still affects me in my day-to-day life. It affects caregivers, patients, physicians, all alike. And really being able to have this unique platform is something that is so exciting to me. And I think that the Miss America opportunity provides every young woman with the opportunity to pick something that's close to their heart. And that's something that I encourage a lot of girls to do. You may say, "Oh, well, this CSI is easier to talk about. It's easier to talk about in society," but is it important to you? I think it's really important that when deciding to pick a CSI, if there's anyone listening that's deciding, if they want to compete or not, pick something that is unique to you. Pick something that you are happy to talk about, something that relates to you. That's what they want to hear about. I think one of the things that comes across in my CSI is I'm very passionate about it. I could talk about it for hours and hours. And I think that that's something that makes not only my CSI, but me unique as a contestant. And I think that, so if anyone's deciding on what their CSI should be, make it unique to you, even if it is a little different from what everyone else has.
Absolutely. All right, wrapping up with our final question. Who or what inspired you to compete in the Miss America system?
So going back to my time as a Carolina Star, my best friend Annalise Gaines, at the time, she and I danced together. And she told me, she said, "Kamryn, you have to come compete," because my mom had put me in little girl pageants and I hated them. I did not enjoy it. I did not find, any confidence in it. I was very shy, very stage fright, and did not want to be in front of people. And so her really helping me become a Carolina Star was very important, and her parents kind of won my parents over. And so I was a Carolina Star, and getting to spend that first year with her and seeing her help me through the ropes of being a Carolina Star and meeting new people, that's really how I first got connected. And then from then on, I saw the role models. I was able to have 5 Carolina Star titles and follow 5 different young women in their journeys to Miss North Carolina and Miss North Carolina's teen. And seeing the change that they had in their community is what inspired me. And then having incredible misses like Carolyn and Carrie Grace and Chloe and Norma Jean and Tiffany and Jamie, they've all empowered me to become the best version of myself that I am. And I think that that's a true testament to this organization. I talk a lot about being a product of the Miss America opportunity, because without the Little Sisters program, without the teen program, I would be a completely different person, and I would not be sitting here being able to speak to you and have fun with it. And so I think that that's so exciting. I can't wait to share my story even more throughout the course of my year. I have about 11 more months left to go, so I'm excited to have plenty of time to get to share my voice across this state.
Well, I hope those 11 months go very slowly because you're already such a great representative.
Thank
I am so, so proud of you and so happy for you. I think if you look at the Miss NC org um, video on
Yes.
Instagram of your crowning moment, you just see me in the back crying and jumping. So that
Yeah.
that tells a lot. You were
I'll,
just the kindest person I think I've ever met. I think it was at the Zebulon competition the
Mhm.
day after I got crowned. You came up to me and you're like, "Oh my gosh, Kyla, I'm so proud of you." I was like, "She knows my name." Because like I have always seen like local title holders as like celebrities to me. So you coming up to me and you just being so down to earth and just so happy to congratulate me was something that like I'll truly never forget.
Well, I had remembered seeing you compete, and I'm gonna brag on you for a little bit. This girl competed. She earned her local title, and I was really happy for you. I didn't even know you that well at the time, but my first year I had to compete at 5 locals. So I know how difficult it can be to pick yourself up and keep going. But it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. And
Yes.
so I always really admired that when I saw you competing because I said, I've been there. I know she wants it. And so I knew that you deserved your local title. And then, yes, I was watching back my crowning video one day because obviously I was in the moment. I was not looking at everyone around me, but the girls were just so supportive. Isla was jumping up and down, crying. So many girls were crying. And so just to have that support as a state title holder is like indescribable. It's, you always hope that your class will support you as the state title holder. And so seeing everyone's reactions and how happy everyone was for me, it's just really allowed me to have a great start to my year. And I hope to make the class of 24 proud. I hope to be the representative that they all hope I can be. And so I'm just so excited to get to represent all of you guys. And I'm going to be at as many locals as I can in the fall. So I will see you around and all of our other local title holders.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. You did great. I'm so, so happy that I was able to have you on. I'm so happy. Of
Yes, thank you for having me. You text
course.
absolutely. I want to do it. I can't wait. So I've actually been looking forward to this for a little bit. So thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. Bye. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, you too.